Column grids are used in architectural drawing as a way to organize and define the structure of a building. They consist of a series of vertical lines that indicate the location of structural columns or other vertical elements within the building. The primary purpose of a column grid is to provide a clear visual reference for the placement of structural elements within the building. So by using a grid, architects can ensure that columns are located in a consistent and logical manner throughout the building, which can help to ensure structural integrity and stability. So with that said, it is now time to jump over into AutoCAD architecture, where I will show you everything you need to know to start drawing column grids, or you could say grid lines in AutoCAD architecture. And by the way, this video is an excerpt from my 3D modeling with AutoCAD architecture course. So if you're interested in that as well, there's a free section to that course. So if you just want to, take a sneak peek and see what it's all about, go ahead and sign up below. I'll drop the link in the first pinned comment. All right. Without further ado, let's jump into it. In AutoCAD architecture, we can create column grids from simple to relatively complex ones, some of which may contain a combination of straight lines as well as curves. Now, the column grid command can be found on the Home tab or on the Tool palette under the Design tab. Or you can simply type the following commands in the command line: column grid add or custom column grid. Of course, both of these are commands that will take you different directions, but they will both take you to the same end result. For this activity, I will be working from the column grid DWG file in the activity folder, so feel free to follow along with me. So there are multiple ways to create column grids in AutoCAD. The simplest method would be to first draw the column grid layout using the line tool. Here's an example of a layout done purely using the line tool. From here, we can select custom grid convert from the drop down here, or alternatively on the tool palette, you can right click on column grid, then apply tool properties, then line work. The command line will then prompt you to select the lines or line work that will be converted into column grids. Select the lines, then enter. Next, enter a distance for the label extension. This is how far you want the label bubbles to offset from the grid lines themselves. A default distance of 4 feet is there. I will enter 6 feet, then enter. Next, we need to determine if we want to keep the line work or erase it. I will select yes to erase my line work. Now we have a custom column grid layout. You will also notice that the column grid contextual tab is present. On here, we will find tools that are specific to column grids. We can add or remove grid lines. Because this is a custom column grid, we can move each grid line independently like so. We can also lengthen or shorten grid lines. We can lengthen or shorten the label extension as well by selecting here and moving it to another location. We can also move the label to the side like this. This is useful when you have grid lines that are very close to each other and we don't want the labels to overlap. One of the other things we can also do is to set a boundary. Use a closed polyline shape to clip away parts of the column grid that you don't want to see. To remove the boundary, simply delete the shape. The add hole or remove hole commands work similarly as the set boundary command. If for some reason there is a part of the building that you would like to not have grid lines pass through, you can use the add hole command. An interesting feature here is that if I move the hole, the grid lines will update to the new location of the hole. To remove the hole, we can use the remove hole command or just delete the shape. Lastly, we have the label panel. This is where we can determine what we want to see inside of our labels. Currently, the labels are empty, so we need to enter some values in here. For this grid layout, we will select Edit Labels. Next, we will pick the first grid line in the sequence, then select all other grid lines that follow in that sequence. And of course, you want to select them in chronological order in which you want the grid lines to be labeled. I will do this for all the vertical grids first, then I will hit enter. Then in the command line, enter the first value in the sequence, which would be, for this example, number 1. Now you will see that the vertical grids have been labeled appropriately with the numbers counting upwards from 1. I will go ahead and repeat this process for grid lines running horizontally. This time I will make the first value to be the letter A, then enter. Now we have a fully labeled column grid layout. Another method of creating grids would be to use a tool called Layout Grids. Here's an example of a layout grid. This was created using the Layout Grid command. Select Add. I know, right? It looks very similar to a column grid, but it is not. If you look at the Properties palette, it says Layout Grid 2D. Also, while the Contextual tab has many of the same commands, you do not have the ability to add labels to this type of grid. Layout grids can be used for multiple purposes, but also can be used as a starting point to lay out your column grids. Once the layout grid is placed, we can make changes to it from the Properties palette. You can adjust the overall X and Y dimensions, or we can make changes to each axis independently. If we change the layout type to manual, this will give us the ability to move each grid line independently. Alternatively, in the Properties palette, you can select Base and edit the space between grid lines independently. Once we're satisfied with the result, we can then convert this into a column grid using the Custom Grid Convert command, just like we did in the previous example. From here, we can make the same modification techniques we covered previously. Now, in the next video, we will be working on a significantly more complex column grid layout using a different approach in AutoCAD. So that's where we are going to stop for today. Remember to click the link in the description to learn more about my AutoCAD architecture course. And of course, here are some feedback that the course has received so far. Yeah, check it out for yourself and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe for more insights, tutorials, and practical tips like this one.